Recording in progress.
Okay, let me make sure I record this application. So what I have before you is a master planned development application from Sunnyside Development LLC for an from Sunnyside Development Group LLC for a project to build approximately 394 apartment units off of Yakima Valley Highway and Outlook Road. So the apartments, as far as I know it, have been planned to be for mid-level income, and I'm scrolling down to the site plan so we can all see it here. Here we go. Zoom out a little bit so we can see it. There we go.
Can you maximize the screen?
Oh yeah, let me do that.
Michael.
There we go.
You say that we could chime in anytime we want, or?
In just a minute. So I'm gonna just go through this and briefly, and then we can go through it. Let's see here.
You don't have copies.
I can print some. Yeah, I can print some. There we go. Yeah, let me print some for you. So give me just a minute. I'll go print some for the audience.
What we do, folks, is we as commissioners first talk about it and discuss it amongst ourselves, and then we open it up for public hearing where each of you can come up and talk and voice your concerns or questions or whatever you might. We'll get some copies. It'll be a little easier for everyone to see that. And I didn't write them down because he's too big. Me to help. Oh, okay. I think from there. I think. So it's. I knew all of the aspects. Oh, so it's.
Apologize for the wait. We have one, okay.
You got them?
Yeah. Okay, so, oh, here you go. Oh, sorry about that. Took me a second to get the printer fired up. So. So what we have before us to continue on, we have a master plan development for about approximately 15 acres that would be developed into approximately 395 units for mid-level income housing. The development will be over 3 phases, and there will be approximately, I believe here, 542 parking stalls. So that's 1.4 stall per dwelling unit. If you look at the site plan that we have, I believe that there's 2 clubhouses, a pool. There's going to be some. We've already the city has reviewed this development already for fire access. So the applicant will be pulling water and sewer and all the rest of the necessary utilities into the site for proper fire flow and fire access. Then they will also be installing a road that goes from Outlook into the site and down to the south. Let's see here what else. So there will eventually be access from the highway, but that'll come at a later part of the development. For this development, it'll probably be an emergency easement for the time being, which means that this area to the south, let me go here. This area to the south right here, as you can kind of see that where that pink line abuts that vacant parcel right there. for the time being, until that is improved to city standards, that area will be installed with a Knox box, that it'll be locked and controlled so that the traffic funnels north on Outlook. And we may look at those findings tonight and go, well, it makes more sense to have it completely through immediately for better fire flow. So that's part of why we have public comment tonight, so.
Are you guys planning on
Oh,
building a bigger road on that road?
So we'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a minute here. Yes. So I can cover that right now. So as part of as part of this development, so along Outlook Road, the Outlook Road itself is an arterial street which requires 60 feet of right of way. So the developer will, as part of this development, need to improve that section, their half of Outlook Road from center line, which means in extending any shoulders to that 30-foot width from center line, and then installing curb gutter and sidewalk along their portion of the road as well. So with an improved commercial access to the site. So there will be some improvements along their frontage of the street. So.
Commissioners, this is a time for us to ask staff and questions. Trevor, on the end of Outlook Road on each end, can you tell me what are the structures, what are their homes, or on this little small section here?
Oh, yeah, so all these squares, those are going to be apartment buildings.
No,
Oh.
on Outlook, the hospice was when they sold it, but would that be?
So on the northeast, on the east side of that property, there's a home. That's what you're asking.
So what surrounds the property?
Yeah, right there on the center.
So directly to the east of the property is Wheats, the fabrication facility. And then to the east of the property, it's more or less farmland. It's currently right now, I believe, some wetlands. Yeah, so let me.
Yeah, that would be my property, the one.
Oh, so this one right here, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, there's some residents there, and it's, well, yeah, there's some residents there. Let me pull it up here. This one right here. Here we go. Yeah, so the proposed site is right here. And then to the west of the site, yeah, there's some residents and some vacant land over there. That's URA, which is our urban rural zoning.
The yellow.
The yellow,
And the
yes.
red?
The yellow is B2 general commercial. So the site is zoned B2 general commercial. And then here's Wheats next door, and then.
So New Holland is down.
Yeah, New Holland is a little bit further to the east right here.
And then in the code, is there anything that requires more than one parking space per unit? Because they're supposed to be 1.4.
1.4. So the minimum right now is 1 space per unit when it comes to apartments. Yeah, so they're a little over the minimum right now.
We
Oh.
have to open up to a public hearing once we're done discussing it. So
No.
we'll announce that.
Yeah, I'll be just a minute. Yeah.
And this is 780 West, that's what I have. Or is it 780?
780 West Yakima Valley Highway.
How about if you could propose for them to finish the road as well as the Yakima Valley?
To bridge a connection at
It's only like 150.
yeah, and we can make that a condition. So So I'll bring those as findings to you as at our next public hearing, yeah.
How fast can cars typically go on? I know that, I mean, I know it
Yeah.
speeds up at some point and at some point.
Be 25 to 35 miles.
Those people usually go that fast.
Yeah.
And that's low.
At that point, we don't have control. But speed limit should be 25 to 35.
You, yeah.
My house,
So-
35.
We have,
So we can't hear you, the mic can't pick you up right now, so once we open up the public comment, then we can pick it up.
This is gonna be a very big. We had kind of the same issue talked about a while back. Matter of fact, homes that are put on Edison have impact on the apartments that are there now. And with everything that the road busy, okay. And no, they don't go come out an hour, they have a straight shot, like go 80. But yeah, on Outlook Road, that whole section, it's just gonna really, I mean, from what I'm seeing with all these units, that's big.
could we condition that they do a traffic impact analysis?
Absolutely.
I mean, they can do that, but once this project in, you're gonna have traffic. I live on Harrison Avenue. I have traffic going by there at 50, 60 miles an hour. And I'm always making calls, but they really can't.
My suggestion would be if this development comes through, maybe put 2 speed bumps, maybe. To slow down the traffic.
Yeah, an outlook, you mean?
Yes, and outlet
Traffic.
speed bump.
We won't be able to see it, but would this be an option? For them to expand the right of way to have a
turn lane? Yeah, so, yeah, so we could. Yeah, so that is an option too that we can require as part of this as. So if I go back to my screen here. Let's go back to sharing the other one.
Oh, well, it would be on their own right of way. So the parcel that they own under the foot, so the right of way would be.
So what Commissioner Member Luan brought up is putting in requiring a turn pocket in front of their driveway. So that way, if there's anybody turning in and out of the development, that they pull off to the side and they're out of traffic, creating less of a hazard going into this into the site, which is definitely something we can condition. Absolutely.
Might be a little bit too tight because it's only 2 lanes, and my best suggestion would be putting speed bump
Speed bumps, okay.
to slow down the traffic in general, even if there's no development, right? There's like speeders out there, and it seems the public concern is about the speeder.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the city might get involved in putting more protection to slow down the traffic in that area.
Yeah, and
I mean, they're putting their kids at risk at that point.
I think the folks out here concerned, and that might be partial of it, but I think, they have, this is a great thing,
Mhm.
going into an area that just gonna change the whole aspect of their living. You get all these people in this home, and what happens eventually, you got speeding, you got crime. I mean, it's just really, it's gonna really impact these folks.
Well, we're looking at we're just guessing 2 kids per apartment, over 800. So how many school buses is that going to take? So I think traffic analysis has to be done. Trevor, Tom can't hear you, so
Oh,
can you? He just texted me that he can't hear, so.
oh.
So with that amount of kids, and let's just.
My suggestion would be that within this development, put a truck stop or school bus stop inside the property to pick up the kids for safety. just like that street, with the 105 houses
Right.
in Edison. And there's more traffic on that side than on northbound.
Can you hear me, Tom?
He says he can hear you, but not anyone else.
I could hear you, but I can't make out much of anybody else speaking.
Oh, this room has that problem with the system. We're working on updating it. It's harder to hear. So if we just want to talk a little bit closer and louder at the microphones, it'll pick us up better. Usually it goes okay.
Yeah, I didn't hear anybody say anything about the minutes or anything at the start.
Oh, we were, because Debbie's not here, so we're bumping the minutes of January to the next meeting.
Oh, I see.
By any chance, is the developer here tonight? Not here.
They're not here,
Okay.
no.
So that's a pretty key part of this
Yeah, 'cause
discussion.
we would want their response too.
I would say commissioners have the notes for the meeting that we have so that you are prepared to talk to developers on some of their plans and some questions and concerns that you have. Did anyone have anything else right now for staff on this issue?
No.
Well, I think we'll open this up to the public and we'll have you come up to state your name, where you live and what your concerns might be. Again, we probably will need to continue this a few times. And like Trevor said, it will go to council, come back to us and back to council again a few times. So it's kind of a long process, but with the information we have right now, we can go forward and we'll open up and stuff to public hearing. Someone wants to come up and start.
So
My name is John Lawrence. I own the property just directly west. There's a few issues I have in here. What part of it is declared wetland? It says on 6, the portion of the project is listed on the national wetland inventory mapper.
Yep, so if I go back to, let me go back to my screen share here. Right up here. So there's a small portion. If you can see my cursor move on the screen right there, there's a small portion on the north side of the site that is noted as wetlands. They are in the process of getting a geotech for it, so they'll have to do some.
Well, they're gonna build on it anyway.
Well, they're gonna have to do some mitigations and they're gonna have to show us, they're gonna have to show why they can build there. So that'll be part of this process, yeah.
Now, when they go to put this in, how thick a filter are they gonna be putting in?
How much fill dirt did you say? Let's see, that was part of their SEPA application. See if I can find the specific part of it. Earth, here we go. Let's see.
I assume it's gonna be about 5 feet of filter,
Um,
just like they had to do up the road when they, on the other side of Fort New Holland. With those apartments.
yeah, there's gonna be some fill that they're probably gonna have to bring in.
So any drainage off of the rain or anything can stay on my property, which is already at about a foot below ground level in the summer.
Okay.
So any runoff is gonna stay on my property and make mine into a swamp.
Okay.
And they claim that it's not gonna be blocking any view, but how does 5 foot plus 30 feet building not block a view? Doesn't matter what the view is, but it is a view.
Okay.
And let's see there.
And who's gonna be patrolling these quiet hours? And enforcing them?
So they're gonna have an on-site management, and then the noise ordinance, that is part of our, it's part of our criminal code, so any noise complaints would go through the police department.
Well, we, as a commission, we can make recommendations.
We can make,
Right.
2 miles away. Wow. And nothing happened. Gunfire all around my house, nothing happened. And that many units, low income housing, there's gonna be a lot of crime.
no, there's,
Mr., is it Onus, or am I, Lonis, Lonius? And you are west, your property is
Mine
west
is
of
the
this.
J-shaped property. Yellow.
A big one,
Okay,
yeah, that
Yeah.
one. Ending in 0, 0,
There's the problem.
And they're gonna have those buildings right on that fence line, looking right into my backyard, and I'll have no privacy whatsoever.
and you have agriculture along with your home there on that property, or
My
your
pasture,
pasture, your child animals?
but right where the houses are, or the buildings are gonna be looking right down into my backyard, at my back of my house.
okay, and again, these are all questions we can propose to the developer and see their response.
Regarding this concern about the drainage, they can always put the French drain along the fence line, just like Weeds did on his property, to carry on the water to the storm drain system they will provide.
And what about the widening of the road? They're gonna be taking my property to do it?
Nope, nothing, no off-site improvements, so everything that they're doing is going to be exactly adjacent their property, no further.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
I have a little yellow strip along Highway 12. Can you state your name? I'm Suzanne Simpson. And concerning Outlook Road, it slopes. There is a canal on one side, and there's property right, not even
I'm about 5 feet away from the fence
not even
line.
5 feet from it. So it is a dangerous road to get that traffic. You've got 384 dwellings. If you have at least 3 people per dwelling, that's 1,152 people. You've got 542 parking. If each house, each dwelling has 2 adults, you're gonna have 2 cars. You don't have enough parking space for 542 housing for me, as far as I can see. And then what kind of fencing are they planning on putting between their property and our property? Is it 6 foot, 8 foot, or is it barbed wire? I'd like to know that.
So
Like I say, I'm now lower strip, so I'll do the industrial part. I don't think
there's
there's
not, we
apartments
can make
there.
those.
And higher traffic is my concern. Graffiti, vandalism, when you get that many people, and those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections in that yellow all have single family in there with open space. Lots of space for trespassing and, curiosity to see those. And as far as the view is concerned, I know it's trivial, but they're gonna block my view of mountains. But those are my concerns, just the high traffic, the apartments, if they were single houses, each unit was a single dwelling house, and like they're building across Highway 12, it would be, a lot less people. But I just feel it's way too many people for that, for 15 acres.
So Susan, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If,
Aren't you getting stuff on my plate? I think you did. Okay.
anyways, going back to it, if this gets approved, my question would be, what kind of fencing would you prefer? If it gets.
Electrified.
8 foot whatever.
Eight-
Something, I mean, something that would, because
Not like the
like
ones-
he said with the noise, the property way on the ends of Maple Road, I can hear their music come straight to, I mean, they blaring their music, I can hear their music, and it's over on Maple Road. So if they're living, if people are living right along the edge, and it looks like you've got access from parking spots, you've got access, or proposed access, I would say. Because I don't think those are parking spots. They might be. Anyway, those are going to be backyards.
Yeah,
You got all kinds of music. You know, I'm the children playing does not bother me. You know, it's still loud music and the, you know, stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
I'm Jan Weeks of Weeks Properties. And our biggest concern, of course, is we just put a metal shop there. Metal fabrication, manufacturing, and we have trucks, we serve our community. And they're butting these apartments, probably next to our fence line. We have Sutherland there. Our biggest concern is we think they should have a 9-foot stone block fence. Because we need something to protect us from complaints, from noise, because I mean, you're banging metal against metal. You know, when you're fixing stuff, and it's not always quiet. We start at 6 o'clock in the morning to be there for our farm families that are pulling in, the dairymen, whoever. And occasionally calls in the evening too. We try to avoid those. And we try to avoid weekends, but it doesn't always happen. So we feel definitely that there should be a requirement that if they're going to do that, that there be a stone there. Right.
What's the max size?
And are they looking to have access onto the Yakima Highway in the future?
yes. Yeah, they will take that access onto Yakima Valley Highway in the future, probably as phase 3 wraps up, but we can get more clarity when the developer's here.
Right now, you can wait. We have semi going off of our, which we have probably three times where when we're not fully there yet. We have part of our operation out at our original location, at rural Grandview. But we sometimes have 3-4 trucks in the yard in one day, you know, just in the morning. And they would have to wait to get onto the highway right now. So it is, you have to do something about the traffic in that area.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Weeks.
And because this is a master plan development, to answer your question,
One other thing, because of so many kids and so on, possibilities over, you know, that fence would definitely be needed because what if a ball went over the fence and there they tried to, and like you said, we have that drainage right there. And we have trucks going on the yard and then kids come running across. It's a hazard.
It is.
and because this is a master plan development, that means there's a little give and take in the application, so we can, if the code says typically the height of a fence is, you know, up to 8 feet, because it's a master plan development, the planning commission with findings can say, we heard from the public and we strongly recommend that developer put in a 9-foot fence to prevent, you know, balls going over and any sort of potential sound carrying, so we can definitely make those findings in the future, yes. Mhm. Sorry about that, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Doug Pruitt, I'm 3520 Albert Road, right on it. So far, everything that's been said today is what I have to talk about. Mike over here brought up a couple of instances about how that many people in one small area, it's gonna invite a whole lot of problems. Outlet Road is not a very wide road. There's SBID on one side and then my property on the other. And it's that way all the way down, up and down from Maple Grove all the way down to 16. But one of the things that I have a concern about, and I ran into this a couple of times, and that is so far, my shop that I have on my property has been hit by gunfire twice. And I call the city police department and they tell me, well, no, you have to call the county. I call the county and they say, no, you gotta call the city. And it's because of where the city limits are. It runs right, that property right there, if you look at it, it runs right through my property, Joe's property. Technically, they say that when they did the annexation, that my property got annexed into the city, but yet I call the police for something and I can't get any help at all unless I call the county. So that's a big issue because there is a lot of gunfire going off all the time. Especially at night, 7 o'clock in the evening till 2 o'clock in the morning, constantly hearing gunfire going all the time. Not to mention, I've started calling Outlet Road the Outlet Raceway because they start at the 25-mile mark and they hit 80 to 100 miles an hour past my property. And by the time they hit Maple Grove, you know, they're doing a good 100 miles an hour, and they're not just on one side of the road, they're on both sides. They're literally racing down the road. My wife and I came off the highway to Maple Grove to make a right-hand turn on Outlet Road to go to our property just the other day. And it was a good thing I was paying attention because when I pulled out from the stop sign to make a right-hand turn, I looked up and here's 2 cars coming straight at me. And neither one of them even slowed down to even move back over. They just kept on going. And had I pulled out like I normally would have, we'd have been dead. They were doing at least 100 miles an hour. So what Mike says over here, it brings in a whole lot of questions about having that many people in that confined area. Oh, that's all I got to say.
Can you spell your last name for me, sir?
Yes, it's Everson Frank, Luaitte.
Thank you so much.
Hey, guys.
Hi, John.
Can you hear me? Yes, you know.
Yes.
Hey, John Nightward, 3731 Outlet Road. I've been there since '67. We have seen so many wrecks on Outlet Road from where Doug's mother-in-law lives to the trailer court that it's not even believable that nobody's done anything different. It used to be a 50-mile-an-hour zone. It's been changed to 25-mile-an-hour zone after a little girl got killed by the trailer court. Doug's not exaggerating. Nobody's exaggerating about the speed. We're talking, they're doing 100, 120 miles an hour, side by side towards the trailer. I called Shank when he was the police chief. He got caught one out there in 2 hours. He wrote 14 tickets in Old Hospice House. Nobody seems to address this. So first off, I guess I want to say the developers are trying to put this plan in play. Can't fault somebody for trying to do progress. That's all good, right? It's all good. But they're not here. That's a little disappointing to us because we made a concerted effort to get here. The other thing is, did they really do their research in the packet that we received, which was about a month ago or so. How come we didn't receive a package prior to that? Anyway, the speed is a major thing. Speed bumps. It's not gonna do it. Speed dips where it takes the car's wheels off. I'm really being facetious there, but the short of it is, last year in May, somebody took out a fire hydrant. Guy was doing the speed limit. Fire hydrants just west of us or east of us. He hit the car that was doing the speed limit, pit maneuvered him off the side of the road, took out Janice's fence, pulled the fire hydrant out. It went off for a good hour, put a foot of water in her yard. This should be a red flag, first off, to the city. I know this isn't a city issue, but this is an issue that's revolving what we're all talking about. Now, Outlook Road is the prime entrance to this facility. I don't want to inconvenience her with her trucks coming in there, but at least that's a highway that's wider. Outlook Road is 25 mile an hour, but it's not. It's 80 miles an hour every day, all day. This is going to be a danger zone, period. A fence like she's talking about, yeah, we all want a fence. First off, it may not be an eyesore. It sounds like it's mid-level income, so they're probably gonna build some nice looking homes with what they have planned out here for the landscaping. But we want a fence because it's an eyesore to us. We're gonna have roughly 1,500 people, albeit in 3 phases, 1,500 people. And then on the east side of me, the Rodriguez Boss development is Catholic. I always say it wrong, but Catholic Charities Housing. There's another, I don't know, 100 some odd houses gonna go in a 27-acre parcel. So we're gonna have roughly 3,000 people living around everybody in this room in the next few years. And we don't have infrastructure, i.e. the road to take and offload that traffic. And I think that it should be, if they're even gonna do anything, they need to factor in Yakima Valley Highway as another, whether it's, I think it has to be in phase 1. Because it doesn't make sense. How are you going to control that many cars coming and going? Pond, we're gonna have a pond. We already have mosquito problems. Everyone here loves the mosquitoes. We know by name. We all pay taxes for mosquito control, but yet Yakima County doesn't do any spraying for the mosquitoes. So now we're gonna have a pond that adds to the water that flows through my property. And it's just gonna increase the mosquitoes. Wetlands, Joe brought that up. I think that's a good thing. What's it gonna do to our property values? I mean, everybody wants to go, I bought my house for 100 grand and now it's worth 300 grand. No, I want my house to be worth 100 grand because we can't afford the damn taxes. Is it going to adjust our taxes to the point where now we can't live in our homes? Do you guys know the answer to that, Trevor?
I don't know the answer to that. off the
Okay,
top of
well,
my head.
that's just. And then graffiti. I've had every road sign from the hospice house to the old Munson Ranches be graffiti. And I've gone out and cleaned it off, and then just yesterday I cleaned graffiti off of the old United Telephone. Things that they have where all their wires go in. So all they're doing is they're testing the area to see if they can get away with whatever they're gonna get away with. So if they do go this, is there gonna be a code enforcement that once there's graffiti on the wall, within the next day it's gone? Because that's the only way that you curb that type of activity.
When you say graffiti, is it, and can you distinguish the difference between graffiti or?
Well, mine was a tag, they tag.
Tag,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's a different, worse issue.
To us, layman, it's graffiti. It's CRAP that we don't wanna see in our vicinity.
Tag is gang,
Yes,
so that's, that's a different,
right.
worse issue.
And it's, again, it's a little puzzling that, well, Susie brought up the fact that she can hear the music at her house. We can hear the music from exit 63, what we call the Outlook Rodeo. We can hear that at our house. So it's not like this housing unit here or whatever is going to be this big party central, but nonetheless, people can have barbecues and whatever. We just want to make sure that we don't hear the noise for sure. And again, one of my main questions is why aren't the developers here tonight? I mean, we're here to talk about their proposed deal. And we almost feel like they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, and we're just here blowing hot air. So, anyway, my biggest concern is 3,000 plus people within the next few years within a half mile of our home. And I don't think there's enough infrastructure, especially on Outlook Road itself, to handle that traffic. Traffic study, paramount. It's paramount. I mean, every day. And I do a lot of from home work in an office. I quit calling because it falls on deaf ears. And maybe it needs to be distinguished that this is county and this is city, and we all get a little pamphlet and who to call, but
I understand your concern.
You know, that's, and again, 3 people in last year have gone through my fence.
Two of them,
Yes.
Yeah,
and Joe's.
yeah,
Somebody you have driver's license storage.
yeah, Doug, last year somebody went through his fence, yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of concerns. I mean, I'm dealing with issues with a piece of property that we have and we're developing it. And the neighbors have a voice in. That's what we're trying to do, voice our concerns. It needs to make sense for everybody, but I don't think 3,000 people in that small section makes sense. That's it, sorry,
Thank you,
guys.
John. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Good evening, my name is Balthazar Avalos. I'm
Can you repeat that one more time?
Balthazar.
I'm sorry.
Avalos. I'm at 3740 Outlook Road. And I'm just right off the northeast corner. The one I do here. And like you've heard from the rest of us, so my main concern is privacy and traffic. Like they mentioned not too long ago, I'd like to see like maybe a 8-9 foot concrete wall or whatever, just like the one across from the launch system right here. And also something that can be done in terms of the traffic and stuff. And because it's like John said, it's we've had issues with the traffic for since I've been there, and it's always that. All the cops and many numerous times, and sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't. So it's that I would really like to see. I was in there. Something with the product for that. And the other thing would be, like John said, it'd make a lot more sense for us if they did the highway, just in the first phase rather than later on. And then maybe they can do the other thing. Yeah.
Thank you, Baltimore.
My name is Kathy Blue, ROUGK. And I actually live in Yakima County. But I'm on Route Lane, right directly across from Doug and June, the yellow section. And there are 10 families in there. It's a subdivision, and I actually call it subdivision. Each person has an acre. It's a well-kept area. And I live directly in the middle. My complaint is just what everyone else has been talking about, is the racing on Outlook Road. 2 months back, our neighbor in the front house, went out on the Outlook Road in his kid. And he wound up on the other side of the road into the neighbor's fence. And luckily that he wasn't hurt, but his truck was out of condition for quite some time. It's a dangerous road. And one of these days, someone is going to really have a bad accident, will be killed. And you just wouldn't believe it unless I mean, I'm sure back in the back. And these cars don't come down the middle of quiet. They've got the pipes and they're roaring. And it's just, it's so disturbing. I mean, it just rattles a person. Now, on our lane, we have speed bumps. But when all this housing goes in, I can guarantee you that there will be a lot of those people out of curiosity that they will come down and go down our lane. Looking things over. And every family there has been there for at least 15 years. I lived in that area for 25 years now. On Route 1. And then the other thing that John was talking about, the gunfire. The gunfire is just unreasonable. You're talking heavy orders. Sometimes it just. And then every once in a while, someone brings in some big high power gun that goes well beyond it. And so you don't know where that's coming from. You know, there are the shooting up in the air and the bullets coming down somewhere to hit someone. Are they going horizontal? Are they drinking when they're shooting these guns? This is a dangerous situation. And many times that for the noise by the parties like coming from the rodeo grounds and on Maple Road, all around us, they have these big parties that are just unusually loud. And many times that I had called in. And Yakima County, because I'm in Yakima County, they always do once in a while, a deputy out. If they can be turned loose off of something, it's more important than the noise ordinance. So that's what my is that we really need to be careful because this is serious business. You're talking about these people coming down the road that fast. And it's scary. It really is. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown.
I don't know my board, and then the first 131 out of the road, right north of Robago. And my main concern, they kind of covered everything I'm worried about. Our road is already a very busy road, period. It connects Outlook to Sunnyside. And there's so many people, even, big trucks and our trucks that come through there, the farmers come and go. Our son actually stopped riding the bus because we didn't want him at the end of the driveway. So scary. I mean, out there when my teenagers come out, and it's scary to just see. It's happened to us. You look, there's a car way far away, they come to you. They're always speeding. I don't think anyone has been able to control the traffic. I think there's a lot of things that are out of our control. My main concerns are the phases. How long do we know? How long the phases are going to take? Is it when they talk about phase 1, is it 6 months? Phase 2, a year? Like, do we know how long we're going to be going through this issue? I think it's important that they take care of these situations before they, start phase 1, before things get out of control. But if they do start and they don't do anything about it, or they can't control, or just Outlook Road is not wide enough. We go through a lot just being resident here right now. I won't even there 3 years, but I've never seen accidents. I actually got concerned that my kids are just kind of near a driveway for ourselves. But I want to know if they're going to be limiting the amount of tenants. I know we talked about 2 children. I mean, we can't control how many children they have in this apartment. If you have 2 or 3, now it's a family of 5, are you going to send more kids? Is it 2 or 3 bedroom apartments? I mean, that's important. And they're still talking about 1 vehicle per unit, mom and dad. I mean, I have 3 kids. My last teenager will start driving. We have 5 cars, 5 drivers on the house. How do you control a unit like this and say one car, 1.4 is not even two, that is not even a deal. Also, if you do multiply that 394 units times two, you're talking about 788 cars. We all know that we have visitors. How do you control the visitors in that unit? Can't go crazy. You don't just keep the family there. I mean, you're gonna have uncles and aunts, parties, they have barbecue places, they have 2 clubhouses, they have a pool. I know my kids go and visit the club at other apartment complexes when they go to the pool. I mean, at this point, there's more traffic coming in. It's not only just 542 cars, which is the units that they have, the parking spots. So I think that's really, really important. Also, bringing all these residents, I mean, we're talking about a family of 4, 1,576 residents, or they do have an average of 3, say 3 or 4, 2 or 3. It's already almost 2,000 residents right there. Like John said, east of our property, they're also bringing the housing authority, the Catholic housing authority, that's gonna be coming out soon. So they do have to think about that. Are they going to increase the amount of police officers that we have? I mean, we've had people coming to our property when we're awake. We are looking at them driving in, rushing at us. They will come and help us. Like, are they gonna be able to help us when we're gonna have all these residents across the street? We can't control what kind of people come in there. We don't know. I mean, I have teenagers, so I know how that feels, you know, to just have the good and the bad, to be worried about what's going on, so. But basically, those are just my main concerns. How long are the faces, the amount of tenants, the parking lot is a big issue for me. And are they gonna be increasing the police officers that we have? I know recently we have met police officers in the city, and we are counting, so now we really don't have to help if we have more delinquency, which is gonna increase the period. So. And I do wish that the developers were here, so if you guys are able to have another meeting to where they can come in, hear the concerns, I think that would be good. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Anybody else in the audience? Hello, my name is Yesenia Ruth. I live at 25 Green Lane. The other one is Kathy Ruth, which we're already up here talking about, which a lot of the main concern is about the speeding for that area. You know, I know they brought up about speed bumps and things like that. And I thought maybe a 4-way stop sign in the neighborhood, because there's a lot of accidents there either way. But the fact that it's gonna be so congested in that area for them to be, I guess, in the first phase, having it be access from Outlook Road. I agree with whoever else said that they should be doing that off of Yakima Valley first instead. And as they work with the phases and eventually make it over to Outlook Road, but I don't have any of the information in the packet some of the other residents out here. I don't know if it's because we're on the other side, considered county. Or
Yeah. It's a weird way that the buffer is set up, but now you're part, so as we go forward and we get more public comments, I'll happily send you, it's a weird way the state law is written. And but residents, I'll fill this in, so tell it to your friends, because it's always a question. The state requires us to send packets to residents within 300 feet of the site. So that's the law. So that's when we send out the packets. Once you become a party of record, you get access, or anybody has access to everything. But once you become a party of record, I send you everything else. I send those residents within 300 feet. Okay, perfect.
I don't have more information about what's going on with that thing and just looking at what we have today, so I don't think I have any information about that.
Yep.
And like I said, the majority concern is the traffic through there. And then, you know, just finding a solution maybe to that, because I was housing now. We have so much traffic just with what the residents in that area are, and just the community of people in the mornings going through there, racing through there, whatever they're trying to do. And so that's my main concern, just the traffic through that area where I was like, for it to be access properly up and go, how we begin with, and then there's hopefully a solution once they get over to the outlet road. I mean, that's a different solution to maybe control the traffic there. But I guess we'll take it back, I can see more information about
I'll get that to you.
Okay, thank you.
I just have one more thing. Somebody touched bases on
the school bus situation. I don't know who it was, but at any rate, what about the garbage pickups? Because right now, the way the garbage pickup is that they've got to actually literally stop and back up to go down some of the driveways. You know, because they can't pull straight in because the road's not wide enough. So they have to literally pull forward and then back in to get the garbage and then pick it up and then you get out on the Outlook Road. You got all these new people coming in here. Where's all that traffic gonna have to stop and wait for all these garbage cans, you know, to be picked up, as well as school buses that come along. I know you guys talked about having the school bus pull in, but the school bus stops at every driveway, all up and down from Maple Grove all the way down to the school. They stop at every driveway, which is gonna back traffic up a long way. And especially if you bring in, you know, another 3,000. Just another thing to think about.
To answer your question, I believe the trash bins for the new units should be inside their property. They will be inside the property. And one thing about the traffic, my concern about the school bus, we're gonna suggest the developer to put an area inside the land, kind of like a roundabout for the bus, like school bus, stop or whatever it's called, inside the property. We could suggest that to avoid the bus stopping for a long time at that road.
Right? Yeah, because I mean, they already do,
Yeah.
you know, on each and every one.
And the garbage, like I said, the units inside will have trash bins.
Right,
The trash guy will not stop on the road.
right. I
They're
know,
gonna
but
have to
still,
go inside.
nevertheless, the trucks still have to pull in and out. You know, and the road's not wide enough for that. I mean, they barely make it now as it is.
Keep in mind that the developer is trying to do a 60 feet wide road in their property to turn it over to the city. So that's going to be an actual road. Not a driveway, but a road.
Okay.
So keep in mind 60 feet wide, right? That's what they propose.
Yeah.
You're gonna fit all that into 14 acres, all that stuff that you're talking about, plus the 60-foot wide
It's right here.
turnabout and all that stuff.
Yeah, 60 feet wide road.
I think this is brought to small right now, but if they have to move things around, or maybe they will come to realize that it's probably not sustainable, they might have to cut back. That might be a possibility.
I just think it's.
But according to the plans, I believe, right, Trevor? This is 60.
Right, it's all been proposed to city standards, so, but again, because this is a master plan development, there's always give and take. If it goes forward, there's always give and take, so this might be something, again, I'm a little annoyed as you are, the developer's not here tonight, but that's okay, we'll get the answers from them at the next meeting. So this is something I will propose to them, and hopefully they have something for us at the next one.
I want to thank everyone in the audience for coming out tonight. You took time out of your evening to come down here, and I'm sorry that the developers weren't here. But remember that this is a process. Please come to the city council meetings. You have 3 minutes to speak before they start their meetings at night. Just talking about what's going on in your road with this meeting, unrelated to this completely, you guys have a valid point, and I think that they should do a traffic survey and some speed traps, and it's not gonna solve the problem, but it might help a little bit. But be sure to come to the next planning commission meetings, and when the developer goes back in front of city council, please attend those meetings, because you have very valid concerns and you should be heard. So stay involved in the process. But we thank you for being here.
And to yes, so as we move forward, everybody within those 300 feet and everybody who becomes a new party of record, you're gonna get everything that's in the packet, you're gonna get all the public comments, you're gonna get everything that's been talked about here tonight. So as we move forward, we're gonna keep you totally involved in the process, so we can keep this conversation going, absolutely. Yes.
When are the city council meetings?
So city council meetings are Monday nights, it's the second.
Second and fourth, so the first one of the month was last night, so the next one is March 27th at 6:30 in this room. Like,
Fire and police attend those meetings, so the chief police is here, they will listen to what you have to say.
I actually spoke with Don Lindy about this, and he contacted Udell up in Yakima. And they actually, for about 2 weeks, patrolled Outlook Road, and I can't tell you how many tickets they gave out, but they gave out a lot.
yeah.
It was only for a couple of weeks, and then it stopped, and now it's all back.
Yes, and Sandra was at city council last night, so there are people who show up who will listen to you, and yeah, these are conversations, we can definitely talk about this more off camera right now. Yeah.
Like there's a certain problem, and there is. So when you come together as a group, it has much more impact. And especially when the chief of police will be here at some council meeting, because we can't handle these stuff. Planning commission doesn't really handle a lot of that stuff, but city
Yeah.
council can.
Good. Right there.
Now, Trevor, is the builder on the agenda for city council?
So that's not, so the next part to let everybody know, so the next part will be, I am going to bring a staff report with all of the comments included here tonight, all of the city code, all of the applicant's information I'm going to bring. It's going to be a pretty comprehensive staff report. I'm going to bring that to the next planning commission meeting, which is on August 11th. So I'm going to get that notice out by the end of the week. I will have it to all of you in the mail. That's going to be April 11th. I'm sorry, April 11th. April 11th. Sorry. Yeah. Just take the summer off. Don't worry about it. April 11th at 5:30. It's going to be right here, same place, same time. You're going to have a packet that'll be sent to you in the mail that'll have all of, again, the same information. So it's going to double up. It's going to be redundant, but you're also going to have the new information that was presented here tonight. So, yeah, I want everybody to feel like that their voices are heard, that you've been noted. I want this to be a very transparent process as we move forward.
Thank you, everybody. The public hearing is closed.
Then for the second meeting, that's when we bring in all of our notes. and
Yeah.
recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's.
You want to email too, or just brought in? And
What's that?
do you want my notes?
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Email?
Yeah. Sorry, Tom, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Did you have anything for us?
A presentation by the developers for all these people. If they would come together.
I'm trying to hear your needs, so. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Tom.
I was just a presentation for all these people that show up in the meeting, because if you have the developer show up and tell them basically a sales pitch, because that's what usually takes place, I would think. Everything that any big job that we've been on it is they come in and they give you a big presentation and tell you what their plans are in detail, instead of showing up and seeing a map. I couldn't see very well, but
Yeah.
the thing is they're already a little bit upset about it. So,
Mhm.
and so I was just curious whether anyone has whether the developer has contacted anyone about putting on a presentation yet.
So they got the same information that when I sent out the notice, I sent it out to them as well. I'll make sure that they give a presentation they'll be the first people on the agenda next time, and I'll make sure that they give the presentation so everybody can see what they're doing.
Yeah, I didn't see much positive coming from anybody tonight, so that might help a little.
Yeah.
Oh, is all of Outlook Road a county maintained road? Or is it some point where the cities, because I saw that, so
I'm not
all
sure.
of that is like the urban growth area starts there,
Mhm.
so then. But these parcels are,
But that obviously, that's this, building was,
I think Outlook and YVH down to the end of the Munson site are city maintained. Yeah, I'm 98% sure. I'm not sure. Well, not 100%, 98%. So
well, actually, the Rand property is still city of Sunnyside.
it is, yeah,
So goes down to me.
yeah. So there's a little bit between Maple Grove and so basically the site, the stretch of road between Maple Grove and the Munson site, that's county. So it does jog around in here a little bit, which is probably a bit frustrating. Yeah.
Did the city not get that property when they put in the sewer line out to Monson's? Because there's a sewer out there too, the whole area.
Yes.
That would be an industrial park at one point.
So the areas along Swan and Maple Valley Highway, that's all city maintained. Yeah, there's city utilities and services in there. All the Munson site is city. The Martin Velasquez parcel, George's parcel and Rand's parcel, those are all in the city as well. But the stuff to the north of George and Martin, that's all county. So it kind of does a weird jog in there.
So John Nybor's property is in the county then?
Let me share this with you. So it's, okay. So this little group of houses, that's county right here, along with the street in that section. Which is probably a little frustrating because I imagine that the stop sign here provides a nice little go.
Yeah. Oh,
I
I
don't
see.
know.
The blue line's ours, that's right.
I don't know where Mr. Nybor lives though.
He's to the right, he's
On the north
actually-
side of North Outlook Road.
Okay,
he's east of the site,
okay.
right there, that's his.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's county. Mhm. And he's actually outside of the growth area too.
Yeah,
So where's
Yeah.
the Catholic church?
The Catholic charity site that they were talking about is this property right here, this big brown parcel. That's,
there's Dave,
Oh. Well, that's the process.
this is zoned R3.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for this parcel, what are the setbacks for it? Are they asking for an adjustment on that? Or
So
the height limits or anything?
for the current parcels, because it's general commercial, there's
There's not.
nothing, the height is, I believe it's 50 feet. I'm gonna have a staff report with all of this information in it, so we're very
Oh.
clear. Yeah. Yeah,
So we know they're trying to do 3 stories?
3-story, yeah. Mhm. So,
And then
so-
for sorry.
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask about the wetland and the delineation study.
Mhm. We have one. I'll provide that as well. So,
There's
The-
different ways to build on
There-
wetter areas.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
different way, and I believe that it found that I'll have to double check what the study said, but it might not be completely wetland out this far. There's areas where there's evidence of wet soil, but it's the retention in the soil is not necessarily qualified as a wetland, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll provide more of that detailed information. But I don't want to talk too much more about it, so because nobody else is here. Yeah,
Oh.
it's,
She's here.
yeah. So,
She's my friend Marissa.
yeah,
I told her that, oh, are we still, or?
we're still live,
We're
yeah,
still friends, we're
yeah.
still- Okay, so you want to end that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
any other additional items from staff?
No, just to continue going forward on the comp plan stuff and then the master plan development, that'll be, I'll have more comp plan. So I am intending to submit a handful of things for the city as we move forward for our comp plan amendment process. There's some things that in the code that just need to be cleaned up and some zoning that needs to be cleaned up. So I'm intending to submit that. So you'll be seeing a little bit from me. And then there might be 1 or 2 more developments that come or proposals that come in. So, yeah. That's all I have.
Richard, anything else?
I have one.
Yes, yeah.
Trevor, usually when we get ready to, I put out for land use.
Mhm. Yeah, the land use action signs, yes.
So one time on Edison, we had a nice, pretty good sized sign. Then on Lincoln, just before Walmart, where this big development coming in. Trevor put a sign that was yellow. I had to turn around and go back and see what the yellow sign was. By the size of the bullet. And it's low. So I had talked to him and seeing if we could get back and put in a good sized sign up, because that's a big, pretty good sized property.
Yeah.
And if we can get it up, where people can actually see that there's something, because with a political sign like that, people can take them, the wind can blow them, but with a bigger sign. I had suggested just a regular sheet of plywood, 4x8, but you said that last one was a 4x4?
Yeah, the ones that we used to post, I believe they looked like the ones that the city of Yakima replicated, and they were 4x4. Yeah, we could, so I had used the ones that I was used to, because I didn't see anything in our code that specifically specified, so.
Yeah, but like I said, which is fine.
Yeah.
You really gotta go by slow to see.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What is it? And at a bigger sign, then there's no house.
I know it might be a little weird. Oh, sorry.
The microphone,
Oh,
sorry.
can you get, if you post it on what's up Sunnyside, have you seen that Facebook group? Or that thing's controversial?
I tend not to post things on social media just because it then opens up the whole social media, but I do post it online. Yeah. Yeah, I try not to.
Sometimes the developers want.
Yeah.
They don't want a lot of people to know.
So I was just gonna bring it up to see what you guys thought, if try to go back to the bigger sign. So then everybody can see.
Yeah.
That'll be-
The 4x4, yeah, they're fine. Yeah, they're just expensive, but that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, I know that. It's kind of in the budget, yeah, because those little ones, let's be transparent with you, those little ones are about $50 a piece.
Oh, can you make the?
Oh,
We
really?
We can, we can do like a deposit, but yeah, what we'll do is we'll, as more come up, we'll do the 4x4s. I'll get some of those made and we'll see what the numbers look like at the end of the year. So that's what I'll do. Yeah, I'll get some of it, yeah.
Okay, so next planning meeting is April 11th. Tom, I hope you can make that on April 11th. We still need to fill a position, don't we?
Yes.
That's what Ben was here. He lives in Sunnyside, he's over the age of 18, and he.
Okay.
So I brought her to. So she see how everything goes. And, I have to step out, but.
Oh, sorry, it depends on what area she lives in. Does that matter, or is that just?
Mm-mm,
council?
that's just council.
Okay, that's as long as she's in Sunnyside, and then to fill out an application down at City Hall, yeah.
Yeah, she can contact Jackie and Jackie would do.
Yeah, I can give her Jackie's email.
Okay.
And,
Okay, perfect.
All right, then, meeting is adjourned.
Do you have anything else, Tom? Sorry.
Oh, Tom,
Nothing here.
Okay, perfect.
get better, Tom.
See ya.
Good evening.
Healing
second.
fast, so I should get the next one.
Stop sharing.